you're obviously renowned for being in really good shape. You are. People are like, Kate Hudson, fit.
I have my moments. I have spurts, you know. There's moments where I haven't been so fit, and then fit. But fit's different in England, isn't it? Fit isn't like fit. Fit's like sexy.
Well, it's fit, and it's like sexy.
Yeah.
It's both.
Okay, see, in America, fit just means like she's fit. Like it's not it's not necessarily sexy as much as like she's got some serious muscles, you know. Here it's like she's fit, and it's like some like sexy, you know. Yeah. No. I definitely. Again, I grew up. Like, if I'm not working out, if I'm not doing something active, I don't feel good. So it's not necessary. And then you know, and then when you start to get strong, then you can have fun with results. You know, then you can start to realize that we can manipulate our bodies to look however we really want them to, which is such a great, you know, it's like you can't control. There's not a lot of things you can control. But if I can control my body to look the way I want it to look like, I mean, why not, right? So, you know, so I think as you get stronger, you start to have fun with that stuff, if you have the time.
But touching on that, some of us have got a bit of a sort of tire going on. What's your answer to the question, how to lose a tire in 10 days?
I can't believe you just went there. That's hilarious. First of all, you can't. 10 days. No. That's so funny.
Planking?
How to lose a tire. You know, it depends. You know, as a mom, you kind of never really lose the tire. I hate to say it.
Don't tell me that.
You know, I mean, you know, it's always, I mean, you can, you know, but some people like, you know, myself, I don't necessarily want to always be super strict with, you know, I want to eat certain things that I don't want to go like crazy. You know, if you can do anything you want to do, how about that? How about you could be and look any way you want to look as long as you put your mind to it, and that's kind of, you know, any professional. I'm not speaking as a professional. I'm speaking because that's what professionals have always said to me and said to people who who I've seen really struggle, where you go, if you can do whatever you really want, you know, and I think that the missing link is how do we motivate, right? Because we can talk about results and we can talk about bodies and we can talk about, you know, but how do you motivate? You know, if you're looking at an unattainable goal, you're setting yourself up for a disaster, right? I mean, if, you know, if I want to look like a 6-foot model with legs to her, you know, chin, it's just not going to happen. I'm 5'6", and I'm a different body. It's just not going to happen. So you have to set the attainable goal, and that starts with how do you motivate yourself?
And obviously, we know that you're super talented. You can act, you can sing. I know you're moving into this sort of fashion and fitness arena. And you're a mum. What do you most identify with as Kate Hudson, who I am?
I don't know if I've reached that yet. As I'm not of that age. You know, I think that maybe if I get a bit older, I can look at my life and look back on my life and be able to say, like, what did I identify with, who, you know, but I feel like I'm right in the center of it. I know the things that I look forward to doing in my life that I'd like to look back on and be able to, you know, but right now when you're smack dab in the center of it, I think the only thing, I mean, for me, if I wanted to identify with myself as, it's my family, so that's first and foremost. But outside of that, I think it really is about, you know, my growing passion and interest is, you know, where women sit in our culture and in our society today. That to me is, I think as I get older, I get more involved and interested in women's issues.
No, now I want to talk about that, but this man's like,
so,
stop.
Hopefully, as I look back on my life, that's where it will, the part of me that I could be, you know, something that I'd like to be most identified.
Okay, next time I talk to you, we'll start with that. No matter what we're talking about.
Okay.
I'll be like, okay, so the women's issues. You're like, this is my film.
Yeah.